it was dope how there was a few games that really mattered on the last day. You don't get that a lot in the NBA.
Nope.
So I think, I took the time. I even called off work. I took the time. I was just like, man, I'm just gonna hoop out and just really enjoy it. And it was funny. I was telling CJ I didn't even have time to kind of process all the games because there's so many going on at the same time, and that's what is kind of tough when you have league pass. Like, it's dope whenever you're thinking about it in your brain, but you can't really focus on 60 games at once. How do I put this? I think when the Magic struggle on offense, it's like way worse than some of the teams I've seen, and
Oh,
like
it's it might be
they're
the
like,
worst.
it's bad.
It's
It's bad.
bad.
So if they end up missing 20, 15, 20 shots in a row, it's not going to be pretty for them. I am not necessarily a deep fan of the Pacers, but they've been playing at an extremely high level over the last 2 years. And yeah, I got to stop sleeping on them, man. I think I've been sleeping on them in the last couple years, but this next season, I'm definitely going to have to tap in with them more now that I have League Pass. Fourth seed, extremely great year.
Yep.
Halliburton, everybody just playing at a high level, and I think he's quietly had a pretty good year. I know people were hating on him, but his assists and his points speak otherwise. Clearly, it was a close and tightly contested race in the West, but we were able to battle it out in the Wild Wild West, and we're standing at the tippy top, so I have no problems. Also, our matchup, our opponent, weak. Not weak. I'm not not weak. They're not weak. They're not weak, but they don't have the firepower that we got, and I think you
Yeah.
guys are gonna see that. So give me Lakers in five. Yeah, I love that.
Last but certainly not least,
Definitely not.
scoring champion, MVP of the league, 68 wins this season. Yours truly, Shea Gilgeous Alexander, averaged 32.7 points per game this season. Man, what more can I say, bro? 30.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Three Man Weave family back at it again, man. And hey, man, it's a special one because I think, the season is finally wrapped up. We got a lot to talk about, CJ. So, I appreciate you riding this one out with me. It's been a long year, but we appreciate you guys for sticking around. But it's your boys over here at Three Man Weave. I'm your lovely co-host ZD with the lovely boy CJ. CJ, how you doing today, man?
Man, you said it perfectly, bro. It's been a great
Yeah.
year. Been, finally end of the season, playoff time. It's been what I've been talking to you all year, man. This is the time I've been waiting for, bro. So I'm doing great, man. Can't complain.
Same. Yeah, my smile is, I'm grinning from ear to ear. I think there's been times where we came on here, whatever's going on in our life, we're a little downbeat. That's okay, but it's hard to be downbeat whenever we got the playoffs right around the corner, man. So I'm feeling happy. I've been tapped in like UFC. So yeah, bro. We chilling. We got a big docket today, man. I don't know, man. We'll see. The playoffs is gonna be a war tomorrow, bro. I'm excited. We got some crazy matchups. Obviously, my squad is going up against the Timberwolves, so
Yeah, we'll get
Lakers in
into that.
five.
We'll get into that. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. But crazy game. Obviously against the Warriors, Clippers. We'll talk about it and all the stuff that's been going on in the NBA. The league leaders. Ant coming through, Wemby still leading the league in blocks. There's a lot of crazy stuff, man. A lot of cool things going on. But like I said earlier, CJ said I explained it perfectly. We appreciate you guys for riding this one out with us, and we gonna keep coming at you guys with three man during the playoffs for sure, and then a couple videos in the off season too. We'll make this a year round thing. So we
Hmm.
appreciate the consistency. So yeah, man, I'll get right into it. I mean, Luka Doncic versus the Mavericks. If you didn't watch it, it's a shame. I even texted the group chat and told you, right? You saw what I had said to you and
Hmm.
Cam. I think that's one of the greatest performances ever in terms of a player returning somewhere and then just putting on a show. I don't think I've ever seen that in my life. For people that don't know, Luka obviously played for the Dallas Mavericks. It was his first time returning to Dallas. They had the I don't know, thank you and
Tribute.
yeah, in Slovenian, and the t-shirt. So if you went to the game, you got a little free t-shirt, but they also had the, like CJ was just alluding to, the tribute video, and we all kind of got emotional in that. I think it was cool how ESPN did a good job, bro. I think obviously the players, I don't know if you know this, but I think most players are shown the tribute video beforehand. and they
Mm.
kind of decide like, oh, I don't know if Luca was shown it beforehand. I'm assuming he was, but they kind of decide if they want to watch it again, whatever the case may be. They give him the grace and the understanding, but it was cool because the way that they were able to like record him, I think they captured a really generous shot of Luka Doncic and kind of I think there's a Getty's picture of him, obviously kind of emotional, but I think it just captures the essence of who he is. He's very emotional and like we love him for that. And I think, if think about it, man, you play somewhere 6, 7 years and they just up and trade you, they up and tell you got to go. You're going to be emotional, right? So started off the night with that. I think it was pretty cool though to see him. Everybody was clapping for him when they called his name out. He was even crying and stuff, and I think it was cool to see. Bro, I'm bringing this up like it was so cool at the end of the game and at the beginning. There was a few times like where LeBron like hugged him or Rui hugged him, and like, bro, it just made me feel like, man, like they really love this dude, man. Like I didn't know all that, to be honest, but clearly like I saw that camaraderie really building, and Brian Windhorst brought up a really good point on the Hoop Collective. This was the first game that Luka was truly a Laker,
Mm.
truly. Because he was going out there busting people's ass, bro. 45 points, step backs on AD, embarrassing cats, tons of threes. Just a super, super masterful game from him. And obviously, we rode that the entire way. I think the Mavericks, Anthony Davis was a ghost in this game. If you wanted to see more from him, I think I just brought it up to CJ before we hit the record button. I think he was taking the night off, to be honest with you. And sometimes you get that. I know AD very well, but I just think he's kind of coasting to the end of the year trying to get into the play-in. But that's where they sit right now. And yeah, they got torched, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. I think they were a little bit shell-shocked, obviously, having I would say their second greatest player ever in franchise history get traded, obviously be cooking them. It's like a whole different feeling. I think it was really cool to see kind of some of, Mark Cuban was there, Nico was there. Obviously, there was a lot of guys in the building that were there for Luca and watching him. And yeah, just to be able to have that performance, I think he kind of took the night away. There's really nothing else I have to say about it. I think Austin Reeves played great. I think LeBron played great. But when you're able to have somebody like Luca and he's cooking like that and kind of the whole world is watching him, you got to just back up and enjoy. And I think that's what we got from him against the Mavericks. So it was an absolute masterpiece. And, I don't want to go too much into talking about the tribute video and everything and get too emotional, but I think what was displayed on the court talked loud enough. We've been a monster team this year, getting to 50 wins. It's just a testament to what we've been able to do. I think even the next game against the Rockets, right? Luka comes out, has another 30-point almost, or 38-point, 40-point, damn near triple double, and I think it just goes to show you where he is right now. I think trading him was a massive, massive failure. They'll probably have to see about looking into moving Nico. I don't know if he'll get fired, but it looks to be not like the best trade, and especially going into the playoffs when Luka is playing like this, bro. You're not going to get too many people that are able to stop that. And you add AR, LeBron, Finney Smith, Gabe Vincent when he's on, Jackson Hayes when he's cutting to the basket, defending the rim and dunking on people. It becomes a lot, bro. It becomes a lot. So I think the Lakers are a true, true contender in the West right now. Don't be shocked if they make a conference finals run. They're also on the opposite side of the Thunder, so don't be shocked if you get that conference finals Thunder Lakers, which would be
Ooh,
crazy.
that would be
I'm super
crazy.
excited if that happens. We have to do a video of every game, bro.
Oh,
Like,
bro, we'd have to.
you know what I'm
We might have
saying?
to live stream that shit. I don't know, bro.
Oh
Like,
yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
we would be
Oh no,
locked
I
in.
would
That.
for sure. Yeah. But to close out the season, I was telling CJ I got to watch a ton of hoops yesterday, and I think it's really cool. I haven't watched the last day of the year in a while, and I think it was dope how we had a few games. Like I wanted to talk about it even a little bit more than LA. It was dope how there was a few games that really mattered on the last day. You don't get that a lot in the NBA.
Nope.
So I think, I took the time. I even called off work. I took the time. I was just like, man, I'm just gonna hoop out and just really enjoy it. And it was funny. I was telling CJ I didn't even have time to kind of process all the games because there's so many going on at the same time, and that's what is kind of tough when you have league pass. Like it's dope whenever you're thinking about it in your brain, but you can't really focus on 6 games at once.
Nope.
So I had to pick and choose. I think I had a couple bangers though, bro. Definitely Warriors, Clippers. I think Nuggets, Rockets was tremendous. Um, I think we've talked badly about the Rockets going into the playoffs. I'm gonna take it back. I think they're kind of dangerous. I think I might go to a playoff game as well. I think they're pretty cheap too. They're like 60, $70 as of right now. So definitely a little opportunity there. But bro, like I think they play extremely good defense. I think Jokic, it was cool because their interim coach said something. I don't know if you saw what he said after the game, after the Rockets game, but he was like, if Jokic wants to be the coach, I'm gonna let him. I think that's a great way to do it. Jokic was coaching up. He was drawing plays. He was really orchestrating the offense. And bro, the Rockets just had no answer for that. I think Şengün can't. He's stuck in mud. He can't really guard that well. But even when they double or triple, right? Like the Nuggets have too many weapons. They were saying that Russ should probably start against in the Clippers series, and I agree with that. I think he's been going at an extremely good pace over the last few months of the season. People have definitely talked bad about him, but he looked pretty good last night. And obviously, MPJ pitching in like 19, 20. It was good to see, man. Exciting to see. I know the Nuggets, they ended up losing or winning their last 3 games on the way out. So, props to them. Me and CJ were explaining how they could potentially be in disarray, but props to them, bro, because I was watching them. They looked to have their head on right, and they were playing with joy. I posted something on my story today. It's like, if you're not playing with joy, bro, don't play at all. So, and I seen a lot of smiles, so that was pretty cool. Jokic, obviously, averaging a triple-double. You guys probably saw that. He's not the MVP, though, and that's okay. Still first-team All-NBA, obviously trying to make that finals run. So shout out to the Nuggets. But going into this Warriors-Clippers game, bro, like, I don't know if you saw it at all, but my goodness, bro, Kawhi Leonard and James Harden are something else. And I was telling you, bro, before we recorded, but you've seen it. I think Harden's gone off in the Garden when he was with Philly. He's had those games, 40. He's made the playoffs every season. And to me, Steve Kerr brought up a really good point, but those two players have aged like fine wine. They're another first ballot Hall of Famers, and they can still go. Harden and Kawhi were also pretty much healthy this season. They had a few injuries, but man, the last 20 games, 17-3, beating the Dubs who have been on fire in the post All-Star break. Jimmy Butler getting a quad contusion, bit of an issue. I seen that, but man, Kawhi Leonard and Jim, bro, I haven't seen Jimmy Butler get cooked like that in a long time. I think he would even tell you after his injury, Kawhi Leonard made him look silly. I think they had to get him off Kawhi. And then, whenever James Harden is in isolation mode and he's deciding he wants to score or facilitate, especially with Ivica Zubac down low and Norman Powell on his side, Clippers are dangerous, man. I think that's another team in LA that people need to be wary about. And we like to speak about the big three on the Lakers. Obviously, the Clippers don't have Doncic, but man, they got Norman Powell, James Harden, and Kawhi Leonard. And to me, that's dangerous enough. And I saw a lot of juice from them yesterday. Curry putting up a lovely performance. We're going to talk about him in a second. Man, 7-12 from deep, 8 turnovers though. I think that's a testament to the Clippers defense, but it was on one yesterday. I was watching that too because I was like, man, I'm going to make sure I scan these games, but whenever they get to the ones that matter, and Nuggets, Rockets, Clippers, Warriors mattered for the seeding. I know the Nuggets had to win to get their seed. And then, obviously, the Clippers had to. I think the Warriors had to win to not be in the play-in.
Yes, they both had to win to not be in the play-in.
Yeah. It was like somebody. Yeah,
crazy.
exactly, CJ. So super important games, and I got lucky, man. I think Harden gave me I was like, oh, bro, I was like, oh. Because I hadn't watched James Harden in a little minute, but he was skip to my Lou in his step. There was just nothing
all season, bro. He's been having a really good season all year, honestly.
All season. So obviously we know what Curry's done post All-Star break, but man, the Clippers look extremely good. And I think their defense, I've talked about their defense on this podcast, but again, lockdown. And Tyronn Lue puts Chris Dunn in and says, go guard Curry. Go bother Curry full court. You're not going to stop him. Obviously, he's still got what, CJ? I don't have it. 36, I think. Yep. So, yeah, he still got 40. But I think Chris Dunn is the reason why he turned the ball over 8 times. And if you watch the tape, you'll see he was bothered. Obviously, I think the Curry-Thompson matchup's going to be sick, bro. It's going to be sick. We're going to see what we get from that. But Yeah, and just seeing those guys go back and forth was super, super exciting. And then obviously Curry was, I think he was leading for a second. No, Beasley was still leading. Curry had to hit one more three or two more threes because he's like a little bit behind Malik Beasley.
Mm.
So Beasley had tweeted something to Ant, and they made this little bet. And I guess so. For people who don't know, he wasn't supposed to play the last day of the year. He had a technical foul that actually got rescinded the day of because I think the Jazz sent a memo. Something like somebody sent something. According to Tim McMahon on ESPN, something happened, and Ant was able to play, which I think was kind of sketchy, kind of sketchy.
A little
But
bit.
it's okay. It's the NBA. Like I
Right.
was lit. I was like, let me watch the Timberwolves. They got to win. They
Right.
were playing around with their food. I don't know if you saw, but first half, bro, they were playing around with their food. I think we've talked about Collier on this podcast and what Kessler brings, and bro, they've had guys that have gone all year in the dark. So
Mhm.
shout out the Jazz. If you're a Jazz fan, I think it was cool to see them play with some energy on the last day. I wasn't really expecting that, and I don't think the Timberwolves were either. That's why Ant had to hit seven triples to finish, obviously leading the league in three pointers made. Man, what do you think about that? What you
That
think about Ant leading the league?
dude, I told you right before we started, if you were to go back in time and tell me that Ant was a leading in the NBA in three pointers made, I would have been like, you're a damn lie, bro. Like, ain't no way. Especially with Curry and all these great 3-point shooters in the league. Like, yeah, it's crazy, bro. Because I feel like that's been shit. He might be first team. Honestly, he's
Yeah,
he's he's up
yeah.
there in those conversations. So like the fact that he was able to get his 3-point shot down and he showed it to us this whole season, and he's a you can't leave him open now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he's knocked down at this point, and
solid.
that's a scary sight because I mean I told you he's one of my favorite scorers in the league right now, and just
Hmm.
the fact that he's
Hmm.
able to dunk on you and shoot over you now, it's gonna be tough. You know, it's I mean obviously y'all go against him, and I told you. You know, yeah, I still think y'all will win, but he's gonna get his. Like he's gonna be going crazy the whole series. But
Yeah, of
yeah,
course, bro. Of
ridiculous,
course.
and nothing I would have expected for sure.
Yeah, so it was cool though. I mean, the Blazers killed us. I think Bronny James started. Obviously, Dalton Connect was kind of going crazy, but it was cool to see Bronny James get in there. Um, I don't know, man. We've already secured the third playoff seed by then. We concluded on a loss, but we won the last two or three games, and I think set us up pretty well to go into the playoffs. I don't really have a ton else other than super proud of the guys this season. I think Austin Reeves is the player of the year for us. If I had to pick one, just his consistency, and then obviously he's gotten better every single year. You can go look at his stats. He's improved his points per game, his PER, his true shooting. He's just a guy who likes to increase his ability, and that's somebody who sticks around in the NBA for a long time. So, also very close to getting that Lakers record, but fell just short. I think in three pointers made. I think we brought it up. He passed Nick Van Axel, but he
Mm-hmm.
couldn't. I forget who leads. It might be Nick Van Axel,
Yeah, I think it
or it might.
is.
It is. He might have both, but
Mm.
anyways, just an extremely high caliber season from him. Luca, I think, what can you say? Obviously, you guys know the Don, and then everybody else, man. Jared Vanderbilt coming back off the injury, playing extremely well. Dorian Finney-Smith giving us juice. Even Shake Milton at times, Gabe Vincent, right? I think those guys have been really good instrumental pieces to what we're trying to do here in LA, and we finished the season out on a bang. I don't want to dive too deep into the other games because we still have to go over some of these playoff matchups, but watching them play against the Blazers, it was just kind of a pickup game. Saw some juice from Connect. Wasn't really super focused on it though. They pissed on us, man. I think it was what? It was like 109,
109-81.
81. Yep. So yeah, not a good game from us, but we're in there. We're in
Yeah,
the
y'all
playoffs.
are in
So
the
what
playoffs.
you
Y'all
say?
already solidified that third seed, so there's no real
Right,
reason to have your starters out there, you know. So,
right,
but
right. So yeah, that's the recap, man. Like I said, we won our last two or three, and Rockets, Mavericks, you guys can eat one. I think the Blazers, you guys caught us on a non-Luca day.
right, yeah, yeah,
Luca's in
bro.
the lineup. That don't happen,
No,
man.
absolutely not, bro. But yeah, no, man. I mean, you know, kind of a little recap of the Thunder. Obviously, we solidified our number one spot. So these last really 3-4 games we weren't playing our
No
starters.
shade.
No Shea. I think J Dub might have played one out of those last
His
three.
birthday's today.
Yeah, happy birthday, J Dub. 24. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was. I mean, kind of what it's been all season. I mean, of course we played against the Jazz and we played against the Pels, so not really that competitive teams. But like you said, I'm pretty sure the Timberwolves didn't think the Jazz were gonna go out and do what they were doing,
Oh
keeping up with
yeah.
them. So, we might have blown them out, but hey, we still had to go out there and make our buckets. I was really impressed with Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins. I mean, those have been, I would say, our best players coming off the bench, bro. I mean, Isaiah Joe's looking like he's a flamethrower. I mean, I've been saying it all year. He's probably our best shooter on the team, and having him on the court the way he's been playing towards the end of the season is looking fantastic. Can't wait to see what he does in the playoffs. And then Aaron Wiggins, bro, just kind of what he's been being able to provide for us coming off that bench, obviously starting these last couple games, but it's just showing
Dude,
me,
Aaron Wiggins is a cheat code, bro.
dude, the way he could just create his
Dude.
shot is
And
ridiculous.
just and it's like he doesn't play often, but when he does, he just yeah, it's
Yeah,
just when you give him I think his per 36 is interesting. You may have to look it up, but he gets almost 20 points if he plays 35 minutes. Like
yeah.
I'm almost sure of that. So who would you say I was going to ask you before you may recap the other games, who would
Mhm.
you say has been the X factor this year? Like kind of what I answered with AR.
For AR, yeah, yeah. Dude, that's a great question, bro. I would say it's a little bit tougher for us just because I feel like obviously like I can
Way
obviously
more
say
options.
yeah, I could obviously say Shea, but like that's like the basic answer. That's probably what everyone expects. But I'm not gonna lie, bro. I think I would say Lou Dort. I would
Or
say
yeah.
yeah, yeah, the torture chamber, bro. I think he's been just the what he's been able to provide for us. I mean, obviously we know what he can do on the defensive side of the ball, but what he's been able to do on the offensive side has really impressed me because when he's knocking down his shots, that's when we're blowing teams out by like 30. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like
30. Yeah, yeah.
because when he's on fire,
Interesting.
he's cooking. So and the fact that he's able to
Mhm.
pretty much guard really one through four on some teams. You know what I mean? So it's the versatility on the defensive side, but just what he's been able to provide on the offensive side of the ball as well has been super impressive. I think I've talked about him a lot in the pod, and I think it kind of stays true to what I've been saying. I think he's been our X factor, honestly, because
Yeah, yeah.
obviously, like you said, I have a
Solid.
lot of options. Like I could say Aaron Wiggins, honestly, but I think just what Lou Dort, he plays pretty much every game, and when he's out there, he may not be getting 20 points a game, but you're gonna get that defensive side on the ball from him, and he's gonna more than likely lock down their best defender, or not even lock down, just have them not have a game that they usually would have, because he's
Hmm.
on their best player on every team. So, and he's not like a 6'9", 6'8". He's like 6'5", but just stocky, so.
The line. So, sorry, excuse my French, but the Jazz game was just played on Friday for people who don't know. The line was at -8.5. And I remember looking at that and I was like, even if the starters aren't playing, J Dub's in, Aaron Wiggins plays, like this game will be a 30, dude, 145 to 111. On the road, I think Aaron Wiggins had like 36 and 7.
Isaiah
Just
Joe
like
had
CJ talked about.
32, 10
Yeah,
threes.
yeah. Yeah, bro. Like 10 triples, just unwatchable, sort of. The Thunder have been at times unwatchable in a good way,
Right.
which is really cool to say about your squad. I think that's just been a testament to you guys' endurance and what Dagnall is really preaching over there. He's preaching go all the time,
Mm-hmm.
take no prisoners. We're trying to
Right.
win every game. So
Yeah.
shout out to y'all, man.
Yeah,
Definitely
man.
like the best representation
68
of
wins, bro.
consistency we have. Bro, 68 wins.
That's the
68
I think
wins.
that's tied for the fifth most in
It's
NBA
like,
history,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah. NBA history. How you feel
Crazy.
about that?
It
Crazy.
it like doesn't feel real, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie to
Yeah.
you. Like if like obviously I expected us to be good, but I didn't expect us to be this good. You know what I mean? Like I expected probably like 50 wins, maybe 55, but 68, bro, almost cracking 70, and shit, we could have, bro, if we would have got y'all, bro.
Yeah, if y'all would have caught us, dude, for
Yeah,
sure.
but
There's a couple, yeah, there's a couple where y'all could have won that just. they snuck away from you for sure. I
Yeah,
think that
but
Rockets game too
Rockets, yeah.
was
But no,
tough.
yeah, it's
But
it's been great, bro. Like I said, it's been what I've been saying all season. It's been pretty much consistent. Nothing's really obviously we have our lapses on our defensive side, so we'll see who we match up with in the first round. But I'm confident in my squad, and when we have the depth that we've been when our bench is playing the way they've been doing all season, I don't think there's a lot of teams that could beat us. So and shout out to Jay Will, got another triple double. I think he's had 3 this season. So
oh yeah,
when he
oh
starts,
yeah,
he makes a difference, and that just like I said, just kind of proves my point of
deep
how deep
value.
we are. You know what I mean? And I'm excited, bro. Like there's not much I can really say besides Thunder up, and I think we obviously broke the record for most double digit wins, and I think we got double digit win these last 2 games of the season as well. So put that bar a little bit higher, and I think our
Yeah,
margin of victories is also the number one in the league
yeah,
as
in NBA
well. So
history.
yeah, man, this is like I told you. I think this is the greatest OKC team, regular season team I've ever seen. So it's been dope, man. It's the fact that we've been recording all season and we're kind of documenting it. So
Yeah,
it's
wow.
great, man. I can't have nothing to say. Just smiling ear to ear at this point.
Yeah, I would just say a demonstration of excellence. There's really it makes it tough for us in a good way whenever they're playing so well. I think you've had a tough time being able to find things to be like, oh man, like I think the roller coaster for me has been a bit different. And now we're like, I would say, we're like going up,
Mm-hmm.
I think I've been going up and down for a few years, and this is the first year where I felt like stability in a long time. Um, I truly believe in what we're doing here and what JJ's brought to the table. I think it's super cool. I don't remember the last rookie coach to get 50 wins, but that's really cool. Roy Hachimura said that the goal was the 3 seed and 50 wins, and so we were able to accomplish that. And obviously, OKC has demonstrated excellence, though. I think every team should model their defensive game plan after them and just try to build a culture of dogs. I think that's what they've done. I think it speaks to their facility, their staff. So it's a lot deeper than just the players. But I think,
Right.
yeah, when you have Shea Gilly, you got Chet, J Dub, it's a trio for sure. And if remember, man, if Philly drops out of 7 or below,
Hey,
that pick is yours, bro.
it can happen, man. That's what
And y'all have Topic. Oh my
Oh
god.
man,
Oh my god.
we're
He's like
set
6'8", 6'9". He's a guard.
guard. We
He's
haven't
a
even seen him
guard.
play all year.
Yeah, but he's so raw. He's so raw. Like I already know he's
That's
so
what I'm saying.
raw.
Yeah, we're in a good spot, bro. I can't complain, man. But like I told you, I need to see it.
Oh
I need to see
man.
it. I need to see it in the playoffs, bro. But I
Yeah,
don't want
that's
to get
exciting
too.
for sure.
Yeah, just great times, bro. Not like I said, nothing to really complain about. Just glad we were able to finish the season off on a little 4 game winning streak, heading into the playoffs, and now just waiting to see who wins this 8 seed. So
Yeah, I think yeah, man. Yeah, it's cool too because whoever's that 8 seed, you're gonna get them out the way. Like we talked about, hopefully they can go to the NBA Finals. I think a lot of people would be disappointed if not.
hmm
I'm lucky that that pressure's not on my team, but we're gonna see. Obviously, heading into the playoffs. But man, dude, I don't know, man. Is there any playing game that you want to start analyzing right now? Is there one that you wanted to start with, or you don't really care where I go with it?
let's start off on the ones. Let's start on the Eastern Conference. I feel like those ones,
Because those are
obviously,
tomorrow.
yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like those don't. I feel like
Okay.
we know who's gonna win. I like,
Yeah. You want to start with Hawks Magic then?
yeah. Let's
Because
do that.
did you see the spread for that game?
Is it like one and
It's
a
like five and
half?
a half.
Oh, it's 5.5. Okay.
Uh, but it took to the Magic. But I have a couple. I think. Well, I was gonna ask you, man. So Trey Young also finished in lead. I mean, we'll talk about him later in the pod. But um, I think people have underestimated Atlanta, bro. Just a little bit. I
Yeah.
think the Magic definitely solid. I think, like we've talked about it, they need their entire team. I think really my questions for me are their playoff experience, and then are they going to be able to score? I think the Hawks give up a lot of buckets for sure, but I know they can score the ball.
Right.
So, how are you feeling? What are your initial thoughts about this matchup? You feel like it's going to be a good one tomorrow? You think we're going to get a close game?
I think it's gonna be a good game. I think like you said, it'll probably be pretty close. But I would take the Hawks, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I trust in Trey and just like you said, their offensive capability opposed to the Magics. You know, like we said, they're a great defensive team, but when it comes down to it, you know, you got to score buckets, and I don't know if they're gonna be able to do that besides Paolo and Franz. You know, so I feel like if they, especially single game elimination, I think the Hawks are gonna game plan for that, so it's not gonna be as
Yeah,
easy
yeah,
for
yeah.
them, but I think with Trey, the way he's been able to spread the ball, pretty much this whole season, it's gonna be a lot. I would take the Hawks to cover that spread. Honestly,
Okay.
like
Yeah, I
that's
was gonna
kind of what
say,
I was thinking.
you know what the total is too?
Mm-mm.
It's like 216. So
216.
yeah, it's gonna be slow. I
Mm-hmm.
think Trey could get doubled, but I think CJ brings up a good point. I believe in the Hawks offense a little bit more. And what? How do I put this? I think when the Magic struggle on offense, y- it's like way worse than some of the teams I've seen. And
Oh,
like they're
it might
probably
be
they're like
the worst.
it's bad.
It's
It's bad.
bad.
So if they end up missing 20, 15, 20 shots in a row, it's not going to be pretty for them. I think they do have some home court advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Magic are going to be juiced up though. Paolo was wearing his 2001 fit the other night. Like they seem like they're gonna try to make a run. It's obviously single elimination. I'm not too sure. Like it's the seventh versus the eighth seed. I think if Atlanta loses, they're done, right?
Yes.
But if Orlando loses, they get one more.
Yes.
They'll play the loser of the next one.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I think we messed that up.
Yeah, yeah. Whenever we were doing the yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, I don't remember how like it hip hops, but um, bro, I should have started with this question. But what are your thoughts about the plan? How are you feeling about it now that we're about 5 years in? Obviously, Adam Silver decided to put this into the NBA to make it a bit different. But how are your thoughts about it so far?
honestly, bro, I like it. I think when it first started, I didn't enjoy it as much because I'm like, man, like just be a top 8 seed. But I think this year has kind of make me enjoy it even more, just because how close the Western Conference has been all year. So that West, like like you said, we're waiting literally the last game of the day to see who is in the play in and who makes a playoff spot. Like that's dope to me.
I
But
remember the last time I did that for
right,
the NBA.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't like it at first. I'm not gonna lie to you because I was like I guess like a traditionalist in a sense, right? It's like, man, just do what you need to make the playoffs. So, like that 9-10, like some teams aren't, they shouldn't probably even be in the conversation. But
Right. Right.
if you make it, you make it. But I enjoy it, bro. I hear some people kind of saying like the same type of sentiment that I had earlier with the just win your games during the season. But I think when a conference is so stacked, it's better. Obviously, we knew who was going to be in the play and in the Eastern Conference probably like a week ago, maybe like 2-3 games ago, whatever it may be. But like
Yeah. Like
that
yeah, earlier
that
for sure.
West though it was crazy. Like where the Warriors are in the play in now, and they're probably one of the hottest teams right now in the league. So it's kind of like it's cool to me now, but at first I didn't enjoy it. What are your thoughts on it though?
That's a great way to explain it. I think for me from the jump, I liked it because I think I just had this thought like it's cool how the stats are a little different too. Like I think it's separate from your playoff stats, so your
Right.
playing stats are different. There's just I think it added a flair to the NBA that needed to be added, and now you're fighting to be a top six. You're not just a top eight. Like you got to be good to be
Good,
in the
yeah.
playoffs for sure. And then obviously, like you're saying, this year I think we've had the closest playing we've had in a while in the West. I think since it started. So
Mhm.
really it's cool to see the Warriors and the Grizzlies battling it out like in a playing game when both those teams have won damn near 50 games.
Right. Yeah,
So
that's
it's
crazy to
crazy.
think.
Yeah, super competitive stuff and I'm super excited. But I think his idea revolutionized the game a little bit. I think we might need to do some of those things for the All-Star game and switch it up. Just go back to how it was and just make it more fun. But adding this dynamic to the game, I think gives the players more incentive to play better,
Mm.
which honestly makes the fans happier, which makes the NBA more money. The play-in makes the NBA more money, basically. I didn't want to say that, but uh,
Yeah.
Adam Silver definitely is a genius. Like they're like, yeah, like yeah, like in the NBA because they're getting paid. These TV deals are nice, boy. We ain't talked about that, but that's honestly the truth. They're operating as a business. He saw it as a lucrative opportunity to get better TV deals, make the teams play with obviously more passion and more competitiveness. So saw it as a win-win. They went on it. It's been a win-win.
Yeah.
Um, Last question: you think they'll ever remove the plan?
Ooh, I don't think so. Nah, not at this
No.
point.
Yeah.
I feel like
Okay.
the players kind of fuck with the play. And obviously, like you don't want to be in it, but it gives them opportunity if like
Yeah. You
we
don't want to
win.
be in it for
Yeah,
sure.
but
Definitely not. Right. Like you're saying, like you don't want to be on single elimination, like you're saying, but it gives the players incentive to be like, man, we got to wake up because I can't believe we're here, but this is the opportunity. Like we're gonna this. You win this game, you can get a week's rest. We'll start the playoffs next Tuesday, like whatever. But right now, bro, it's tough. I think the games are this weekend, so I think they're starting like this week. They go quick,
yeah, I think
but
our first matchup would be on Easter, actually Sunday. So
yeah, I think the Lakers go Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, the Lakers go Saturday. So super exciting stuff. Would you like to talk about the next Eastern Conference matchup in the plan, or would you like to go to the West?
Yeah, we can talk about the East.
Okay.
I feel like the West is gonna be a little bit better
Do you know
conversation.
who plays on Wednesday?
Yeah,
Do you know the East?
is it
You have it?
Bulls
Okay,
Heat?
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'll jump right into it. I think I want to switch my answer. I think the Bulls have this one.
me too.
They look like they've been playing with absolute fire,
Hmm.
and I'm not really going against that at this moment. I think I've discounted Josh Giddey's ability throughout his career. I'm no longer doing that. I always thought Kobe White was good, and we've talked highly about Matas all year. My thing is the Heat, on the other hand, they're also solid too. They've been here before. It's hard to bet against them. I understand. I think the Bulls being at home helps them a little bit as well. But I just think the Bulls' offense is a bit more dynamic with Josh Giddey in the lineup.
Right.
I think the Heat would use a player like Josh Giddey. Like they need a type of player like him to get others involved and be creative and everything like that. The Bulls also have almost 40 wins on the year to the Heat's 37. I think it's kind of a testament to where they stand, and I think their front office is very happy to be where they are. I think the Heat's front office is disappointed. That might have an impact on kind of emotional just things you're not thinking about the nuance of basketball, right? Like if somebody's having a bad day or their franchise is angry that they're in the play-in, well, it might be different, right? Like as
Right.
opposed to the Bulls, they're getting cheered on. Yeah, we're the 10 seed. You
Yeah.
guys did it, right? Like there's a difference in vibe. I wanted to bring that up as well. It seems like they're playing with more joy. I brought that up 20 minutes ago. And I think that's why me and CJ are picking them to best the Heat. It's sad, man. Shout out Los, but I spoke with him briefly about it. I think the Heat have been playing in since it's been since its
Since it
inception.
started, yeah.
Yeah, and that's an issue, right? I brought that
Hmm.
up to him. I think they're a franchise that should be nowhere near the play-in, and they continue to be in these positions. And it's odd to me because they have one of the best front offices in NBA history, honestly, but also currently in the NBA. And I think it just speaks to kind of really the loss of Jimmy Butler. I don't think that can be understated. I think if Jimmy Butler's on the Heat, this game looks different. I think the spread is flipped. I think you got the Heat minus 1.5, but give me the Bulls on the spread at 2 points. I think this game is going to come down to the wire totals at 219, 220. So you're going to get some juice from these offenses. So we'll see, man. I'm not super excited about this matchup. If I had to choose one in the East, they're kind of ugly, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
go with the Hawks Magic in my opinion. But
Right.
I think the Bulls have been extremely just the darling of the NBA, especially in the second half, and they pissed on the Lakers. So it's putting up 150 points, Josh Giddey going crazy, and then also that game winner. Just they beat us. I think both times we played this year.
Hmm.
So in the second game we played with juice and we still lost, and it was like, oh,
Yeah.
well the Bulls are kind of
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah, no, for sure. That I was gonna say the same thing, bro. I think the Bulls are
Yeah,
gonna get this win. Just the way that they've been playing, really, the past post All Star break, they're looking good.
yeah,
Giddy,
2 months.
Kobe White, yeah, they've all been surprising me, honestly. Like you said, I knew Kobe White was a good player. He always tends to step it up towards the end of the season as well. And
Yeah,
I've been super impressed with what Giddy has been able to do, honestly.
him and Giddy, I think, went back to back Player of the Weeks,
Mm,
so it was kind of cool. Like
yeah.
when they were hooping a few weeks back, but
Mm. So I'm
yeah,
looking. I'm looking at the rules just to like confirm it. So the loser of the Magic Hawks would play against the winner of the Bulls Heat. So the winner
okay,
of
because
that,
they're 9-10. Yeah, they're
yeah.
9-10.
So
Right, that
the
makes
winner
sense.
of the Magic Hawks would be the seventh seed, and then
Mm.
the loser
And
would
they're
play.
done. They're done.
Yeah,
They're done with the plan, though.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And then the loser of the Bulls Heat is eliminated as well. So they would go
Yeah,
against the winner of the Bulls Heat would go against the loser of the Hawks Magic to get the eight
Magic for the
seed.
8 seed.
Hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that's a lot clearer. Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's crazy because you brought it up. Like you can have more wins than somebody else, but you just lost the plan.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's frustrating for sure. I think yeah, that adds a different dynamic for sure whenever you're getting the hip hop stuff because yeah, the 9-10 game if you lose you're gone, but that winner plays the loser
Mm.
because that, whoever won is the 7th seed.
Yep.
So they play for the 8th seed and then that's the playoffs right there. And then that person has to go up against the Cavaliers,
Yeah.
which, good luck.
Yeah,
But
yeah. That's why I was
um
like, yeah, we could probably talk about them because I
yeah,
feel like we know who would be the eighth seed. I feel like we know who would probably win that series, right?
yeah. I mean, we've seen crazy stuff before. I think at times it's like you can get shell shocked. If Trey Young does win 2 games, you start to get a little scared, right? But I don't know. Let's not go there right now. But
Yeah.
definitely taking the I'm gonna go with the Hawks too, bro, and I'm gonna go with the Bulls. I think two little, one of them's an underdog for sure, but the other one's a favorite.
So Magic Bulls. Then who do you have winning that to get the eighth seed?
Magic.
Magic. Yeah, same.
Yeah. I
I think
think
we're
the
on the
Bulls will finish 9.
yeah we're on the same page.
It's okay. I think if they did beat the Magic, wow, I mean, they'd play the Cavs, and that would be kind of cool. I mean, they would get swept probably, but it would
Yeah.
be exciting for them
Hmm.
just to go.
Especially where
So
they
we'll see.
started off this season too.
No, yeah, extremely. They have clawed. They have been one of the better teams in the East post All-Star break.
Hmm.
Top 6,
Hmm.
the Bulls. They
Bulls.
just, like you said, they sucked earlier this year. So. Yeah, I'm glad we got to talk about them again. That was cool. But I'm excited to go to the Western Conference because I know this is the game of the night tomorrow. In my opinion, it's the 9 p.m. game. You know the matchup for this
Yeah,
in
it's
the West.
the Warriors Grizzlies.
Yep. Man, I think I'll speak about who I think is going to get this win first, and then I'll let you talk about it. I think you get Ja tomorrow.
Okay.
You get Ja tomorrow. I'm
Okay.
switching it up. I think the Warriors are kind of cell shocked. The Clippers were able to expose a bit of their weaknesses. I think the Grizzlies have enough juice tomorrow to be able to steal this win on the road. Give me that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, give me
facts.
yeah, give me that for sure. I think Ja has been shooting at 42% post All-Star break,
Yeah, he's been going
averaging
crazy.
almost 30 points, like 26 or 27 points as well. Been scoring at an amazing clip. Yeah, I think the Grizzlies have been underestimated a bit. I'm glad we're not seeing them because again, I think it would have been tighter than the Timberwolves. I think that can stay over there.
Yeah.
Um, but man, yeah, what they've been able to do, like they've definitely been a little bit chillier than the Warriors. Obviously, they've been on fire, but losing their coach, I think they're going to play with some fire tomorrow, man. And I just, unfortunately, with the Warriors, like whenever they get into these ruts where like they start to go down and they kind of just look lost. Like Draymond can't really score. If it's not Curry, it's nobody. And I think the Grizzlies have just the playoff experience. I think there's still a ton of younger guys, Quentin Post, Trace Jackson Davis on the Warriors that are still learning the game. I think they have some veterans. Obviously, they got their core veterans. Jimmy Butler's in the lineup. 8-point spread, because the Warriors got a little trio, you could say, but I think they're that's a little much. I think obviously Oracle's a rock in place, definitely in a playoff setting. Like I said, I'm gonna take the grenades, man. I'm gonna take Ja, and I'm gonna go against the grain a little bit. I really do
Okay.
believe in what John Morant's been able to just build over there, and I think Jaren Jackson Jr. is gonna be giving Curry hell, and yeah, I'm praying for those boys in Memphis because y'all boys better show up, man, for real. Because I'm putting y'all on my back. I
Hey.
think Curry's gonna have to play one of the other versus the Kings and the Mavericks. He's gonna have to play one of them for the 8th seed.
Ooh. Fuck. Dude, I was about to say, I've been thinking, and
You're gonna go with the Warriors, right? Yeah,
nah,
I see.
that's tough, bro. Because the way that the Grizzlies have been playing these last couple games, they're looking really good. Especially Ja.
They're
Ja's been
solid.
like you
Yeah,
said, he's shooting 42% from three, and I feel like that's a part of the game that we didn't really expect from Ja to elevate that fast, especially at the end of the season. But the way that they've been playing is good, bro. And damn, that I'm not gonna
I don't know.
lie.
They got you,
I'm
huh?
not gonna lie, bro. I think you might have convinced me the Grizzlies, bro.
I think 8 is too much. I think it's
Mm,
the Grizzlies spread or nothing.
yeah.
Like I think the Warriors can win at Oracle, sure, but man, like 8 points.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And the Grizzlies are solid. They're
Yeah, I feel
solid.
the only okay, so like kind of like like my reasoning as well for
They have an
going with the
injury or something I don't know about.
shit. They
Just 8 seems like a lot.
let me check because not that I'm aware of, but no, everyone's like day to day, but I'm pretty sure they'll be good for the play-in.
They're all going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah,
yeah.
Zach Edey's gonna be cooking on the boards. Give
Yeah,
me Luke Kennard and yeah.
I was about to say yeah, bro. I think I'm gonna have to go with that, or I think Jalen Wells might be out, but like obviously,
Yeah,
but
you're right.
we kind of
Season we
expect.
even talk about that. Abrasion on his face, broken wrist. Yeah, that sucks, man. Still
Prayers up for
all
Jalen, all
first team
rookie
all rookie though.
for sure. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I like the Grizzlies pick. Like that's
Okay.
you might have
Yeah.
just convinced me
I would
because
go
I'm
Grizzlies on the spread. Maybe they don't win outright. I
okay.
don't maybe they don't win outright, bro. But I think they do. Like you don't have to bet it, but if you're betting, take the spread. Like that's too many points.
Yeah,
But
definitely take the
I
spread.
think they win outright.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too, bro. I'm just kind of thinking of obviously it is gonna be a playoff game, and we know that Curry, Draymond, Jimmy
40
are gonna
minutes.
40 minutes
Give
at
me
least.
40 minutes.
Right. So is Jimmy going? I know he's injured, right? Or
He'll go. He'll go.
he's yeah. Okay, that's what I was assuming. So we don't know
He should
what's
go.
that.
If
What
he
that's
doesn't, if
if
he
he doesn't.
doesn't,
If he doesn't, for sure
Grizzlies.
Grizzlies, hundred
Yeah, for
percent.
sure.
But yeah, no, I just think the way the team that the Grizzlies have had all season, nothing's really changed. They obviously besides her head coach getting fired, but they've been still looking decent. Jaw's been playing at an All NBA level pretty much for the
Yeah.
next couple for the last couple of months. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I think I'm gonna go with the Grizz too. I think you might have
Yeah.
convinced
The
me.
Warriors struggle on the offensive glass. I think the Grizzlies are really big. They struggle with big teams. It's kind of yeah, the Warriors, like, they're solid, but they also have some matchup issues. You can definitely get to them.
Hmm.
I think if Curry's bothered, I'm sure Curry will have 30,
Right.
at least, probably. But I think it just comes down to Ja Morant, Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr. If those guys are feeling it,
It's
it'll
gonna
be a
be
longer night.
like we said. It's always tough when you're getting three people scoring 20. It's gonna be a tough game to try to keep up with that, especially like you said if Curry's not
Yeah.
gonna get it going. Who is?
Yeah. Like you said, the total's at 230. It's one of the highest in the play-in. So
Mm,
they're like you're saying, there's going to be buckets, bro.
mm.
So I
Yeah,
think it'll
no,
be like this. But that's
yeah,
the game of the night
yeah, hundred
tomorrow.
percent, 100%.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Well, cool,
I'm
bro.
gonna take I'm gonna take Memphis for sure.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I'm rocking with the Grizz too, bro.
Okay, cool,
I like that.
cool. Yeah,
That's hard, bro. I'm fucking that shit.
I like that one
I
for
like that
sure.
shit.
For sure, I like that. I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Bombs going off, grenades. But yeah, man, it's exciting, bro. Because I think we talked about it a little bit. We previewed it. I think the Warriors will probably be facing whatever team wins this next matchup. But
Mhm.
Kings Mavericks, bro. The Mavericks, how the hell are they here? I think that's really cool to see them, but they're there. They're going on Wednesday. What you think?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I think I'm gonna go with the Kings right now. I think
Okay, for
they
sure.
have DeRozan, Levine, Sabonis. You know, like they made, but they're ninth seed. But I feel like with those type of players, I don't think the Mavs have really a lot of firepower besides AD that could keep up with them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he might be able to stop Sabonis, but I don't know who's going to be able to stop Levine or
yeah.
DeRozan. You know, they've been.
They'll have to rely on Max Christie a lot.
Mm,
If they don't get the 20 or 25 from him, yeah, I think it's because AD can't. AD will get you 30. I think
yeah.
he's struggled against Sabonis in his career, but I think you're going to see a patent AD game,
Yeah.
35 points, something like that. But
Hmm.
I think the Kings will win too.
Yeah.
They've been just a more structured team all year, and they've always been kind of hovering in this plan. I think the Mavericks were assuming they were going to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, the morale difference is a little bit tough for me, and I think just they're a little bit shell shocked still from that trade. I think
Hmm.
they're playing on the road here, which is going to be difficult. The Kings have definitely been a better home team as well than the Mavericks have been on the road. So yeah, I think what is it? The spread's like 5 points or something like that. Give me the Kings. Shout out Sacktown, man. Got to represent. But like you're saying, yeah, the DeRozan Levine pairing's been pretty decent. I thought it was kind of weird when it first happened, but it's been
Same.
okay. The Kings still haven't produced anything legendary, but yeah, this game I'm not like super excited for. I'm not super excited for. I
Yeah.
think Wednesday's game is definitely like Heat Bulls. I'd rather watch that,
Hmm.
but Mavericks Kings is gonna be solid, bro. There's some solid hoopers. Like Najee Marshall's been cooking.
Hmm.
You know, who else has been cooking? Like Keon Ellis for sure. Like there's a couple guys on.
Is Daniel
You know,
Gafford back?
did he come back? I think Lively came back. That's who it was.
Oh, okay. I
I
knew
don't I
one of
don't
the
know.
centers came back.
Yeah, Lively came back for sure.
Got you.
I don't think Gafford did. I could be wrong. But if they
Okay.
have him, then the Mavericks could win.
Gafford got 20 minutes their last game.
Oh,
So I
nice.
think and
Well,
Lively. So
yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
yeah, they.
So honestly, the Mavericks have a little bit of juice in the front court. I,
Hmm.
I mean, now that all of those guys are going, yeah, that might be a close game. I could see why the spread is at 5. But
Hmm.
they still need Kyrie to really facilitate all that. I
Yeah.
think him being out is more important than anybody else being in.
Right.
I
Yep.
think no Kyrie is
It's
really what's
huge.
impacting
Yeah.
the game. Yeah, it's huge. But the Kings have been a more solid team, and I think they're going to play their way in.
Hmm.
I think if they win this game, right, they'll go up against the loser, right, and then the
Hmm.
Mavericks are done.
Hmm. So
Kings
you.
Warriors, I think the Warriors for sure.
Yeah. Which kind
It'll be
of.
Warriors Grizzlies in the playoffs. It'll
I was about
still
to
be
say
the
that
Warriors.
that's a little nerve wracking for me as a waiting to see who gets this 8 seed. I'm not gonna lie,
I know, sir. I know.
because the
It's crazy.
I think we could.
Warriors?
Yeah,
You don't like
Warrior.
that? You're nervous about that?
I'm nervous going against Curry, bro. I'm not gonna lie to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, he's a thunder killer for sure. I would be too. I
Yeah.
mean, that series will still only go 5 or 6 games.
Right. Yeah,
But
but it's still a little. I would much rather
yeah.
have the Kings win. Let's just say that. But
Mm.
which I mean,
Or or
I feel
or
like
the
that.
Warriors to win
Right.
tomorrow.
And then potentially go again. Yeah.
Like your little guilty pleasure. Yeah, they
Right.
could just
Right.
win tomorrow, and
Right.
then you'll be okay.
Right. Exactly. But
I think the Grizzlies would give you guys trouble too, though, just a
yeah.
bit, but only 5 games.
Yeah. I was about to say, yeah, they would for sure. But I think it would be
Not more than
a
the
bet.
Warriors, though.
Yeah, not better. Yeah, I just think the way that they've been firing and just the way that they've been playing, it's just like a bad. I wouldn't even say matchup
Yeah,
because I think we have a better whole roster and even like the certain type of players we have, like they don't
bad
have a
timing.
big. Yeah, they're tiny, and we could defend pretty well, but it's just
You
that
don't
man.
need to think.
It's just
Yeah,
that man 30, bro. It's just that man 30. I've
I think this is most likely it'll probably be the Warriors. So
yeah. I'm a, I,
maybe the Thunder play the Warriors.
unless the Kings just can do something.
Unless the Kings do something magical.
Unless
They could, bro.
yeah,
They could
Levine
beat the
and
Warriors
DeRozan
for sure.
dropped 30 each or some shit against the.
Oh my god, that would be
That would be
insane.
insane. That would be
Like the
insane.
Warriors are out of the
Out.
playoffs at almost 50 wins
That'd be
because they
crazy.
lost twice. Oh, that would be such a
That'd be.
headline, but we are not going to get into that on
Yeah,
this one,
we
sir.
won't. We
It'll be
won't.
fun.
We'll be talking for hours. Then.
But man, would you like to preview the entire playoff matchup before we go into these league leaders and wrap up the pod for these lovely people?
Yeah, bro. Let's get into it, man.
100%. I don't know if you've seen the photo I had in the outline.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Um,
looking at it right now.
okay, cool. But yeah, we just went over the plan for you guys. Super exciting stuff. Hopefully, you guys can watch us on Tuesday and Wednesday. I think 7 and 9 for
Mm-hmm.
both, or 6 and 9. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it might be 7-9. They probably pushed it back a little bit.
Yeah,
I think they're probably gonna get
that's
that
fair.
that late game.
So I'll just start off by saying this too for people who don't know. Now that there is the plan though, like CJ was saying, Thunder or the Cavs don't know who they play. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of the cool thing about the NBA playoffs now is like the one seed just doesn't know. So they're just
Yeah.
the one seed.
Just waiting,
Okay.
bro.
Yeah, they're just the one seeds. Like that's the cool part about it. And then obviously the two seeds wait as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Celtics and the Rockets. So the Thunder and the Rockets are
Mm-hmm.
1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Thunder are number one, Rockets are number two, and then the Cavs are number one, the Celtics are number two.
Mm-hmm.
So those four teams are all waiting on the plan to finalize before their matchups finalize. So we're going to be talking about the 4-5 and the 3-6. Those are already finalized. You want to start on the East or Western Conference side?
Let's start in the East, bro.
East, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
East. Okay, the East is cool because we
No, the
talked
East.
about you want to talk about that 4-5 matchup because we you
Yeah,
brought that up.
yeah.
All right. So for people who don't know, the 4-5 matchup coming in at the fourth seed, Indiana Pacers. I,
Man.
I I don't know what to say, man. I am not necessarily a deep fan of the Pacers, but they've been playing at an extremely high level over the last 2 years. And yeah, I got to stop sleeping on them, man. I think I've been sleeping on them in the last couple years, but this next season, I'm definitely gonna have to tap in with them more now that I have League Pass. Fourth seed, extremely great year.
Yeah.
Halliburton, everybody just playing at a high level, and I think he's quietly had a pretty good year. I know people were hating on him, but his assists and his points speak otherwise. So coming in at the 4 seed, we have the Indiana Pacers. At the 5 seed, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. Obviously, Giannis is taking them to heights unknown. I think it's cool that we get this little rivalry, man. Obviously, you know what happened last season with the Giannis 60 ball and all the little stuff that was brewing. I think we get to see it on full display coming up in the playoffs, and that's exciting, bro. You know, I think this 4-5 matchup in the East is probably going to be big ticket for sure. Big ticket. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be watching that every game. I know it'll be solid. There's going to be a ton of juice. What are your thoughts on that matchup, sir, and how are you feeling about it?
Man, like you said, I think this was the matchup that we were kind of hoping we were gonna get, just because of all the history and the way that the Pacers have been playing. They've been looking great, and the way that Giannis has been playing, he's been looking really could have been the MVP if it was just any other season, But
Any other year,
yeah,
yeah, for
and
sure.
man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of leaning Pacers, bro. I think
Wow, okay, yeah,
I
yeah,
think
me too.
I think it's gonna be shit. Giannis is gonna get his. I'm not worried about that. I am
Oh,
worried
I was
about
gonna say take his points every
every
game,
time.
bro.
Every time. No one could guard him on the Pacers. But I think the thing that is really gonna be a deciding factor, and it's been the main thing I've been saying about them all season, bro. Who is gonna be able to step up with it, especially if Dame's not gonna play, which more than likely I don't think he's going to, unless they make it to probably the Eastern Conference Finals, maybe even Finals. Who's going to be able to step up and be able to score 20 or 15, whatever it may be? That's been my main question for them all season. And I think the Pacers, the way they've been playing, Bucks really aren't that great defensively as of late. Getting older, Brook Lopez isn't what he was. I mean, Giannis, we know what he can do, but everywhere else it's a kind of iffy. And the way that the Pacers play, they're going to be trying to push the pace, and they hit threes. It's gonna be a
Yeah,
long
no
game
pun
for y'all.
intended.
Yeah, right. And the way that they, Pascal, Miles Turner, Nemhard,
Oh
Benedict,
man,
Matt,
my
they're stacked, bro.
oh,
I think
there's
series
that.
I think series probably gonna go probably
They're
six.
healthy too.
Might go 6-7, but I think Pacers will be able to win
They
this
got it.
series, bro. Yeah, I think
I
so.
agree. I agree. Pacers in 6. Moving on to the 3-6 matchup. Hey
Ooh.
man, coming in on the 3 seed, we got the New York Knicks. Obviously, been going crazy all year. Cat breaking out, second in rebounding, finishing up on a year, just having a great year, probably the best year of his career. Brunson, McCall Bridges, the Iron Man, played 6 seconds and then checked himself out to keep his streak alive.
Yeah,
We've seen it against the
of
Nets. Knicks, you
course.
are not slick, good sir, but they are the 3 seed.
Facts,
They call
facts.
him out. You
Yeah.
are not slick, good sir, but they are the 3 seed, and you have been an
Yeah.
Iron Man your entire career. So shout out McCall Bridges. But like as you like to say, Tom Thibodeau runs guys in the ground. He likes to look at the season as one big playoff game. I think you explained it perfectly. But in doing so, they've got the 3rd seed. Clearly, what they've been doing is working. You can't argue with winning. That's one thing you'll never argue with. So, Knicks, shout out to the Knicks. We've talked about them extensively on this podcast, but they've had a great year. Um, but this 6 seed, man, you
Hey,
want to announce the 6 seed, man?
6 seed, man. Detroit
Oh,
basketball. Come on,
simple.
bro.
There you go.
The
Detroit Pistons.
those Eastern Conference, those middle of the 4-5, 3-6. Those are some good
Yeah,
matchups, bro. Like
for
those are
sure, bro.
really good. I
Better than
think.
better than the West, probably
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, for sure.
I think the 4-5 is good in the West, but both of those series are going to be. Who you got in the 3-6, man? I want to hear your thoughts. I'm sure you'll go with the Knicks, but it might be 6 games,
I think I was gonna
seven
say
games.
Knicks in 7. I'm not gonna lie.
7. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the
I could see
Pistons,
it
bro.
too.
Yeah, I think just like you said, bro. Nick, little the way that Tom Thibodeau coaches, he runs them into the ground, and of course, everyone is gonna be someone's gonna have injuries. That's not a
Yeah, knock on anybody.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
guys got to play a whole season. It's tough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. People are gonna be injured. So I'm not really worried about that. I'm. I think the Pistons are gonna be a little underestimated. I'll say that. I think they
I
haven't
agree.
they haven't won a playoff game since '08, I believe. So
They're
the
going to
last
win one.
yeah, I think they're gonna at least go and win one. But like I said, I think Knicks 7. But I think the way Cade's been playing, he's been playing really good. Of course, Knicks play really good defense. They have a lot of good versatile defenders. But I think the way that Malik Beasley's been playing, Jalen Duren, they got Asar Thompson there. They're pretty stacked, bro. Tobias Harris, they're a young team, right? But they have a lot of good Tim Hardaway Jr. They have a lot of
Golly.
veterans on the team that I think
Golly.
are gonna be their X factors when it comes down to it. Hitting big
Man, oh,
shots.
man.
We know
The
what Cade's
Pistons.
gonna do. We know what
Yeah.
Cade's gonna be. I think he's gonna put the world on notice. Being in the Garden, I think it's gonna be a really tough series. But I think the Knicks are gonna be able to scrape out with this win, and it's gonna be
He
tough for
might
them.
make All NBA for people who don't know.
Yeah, I think no,
And
I
I
think he
think
will.
Dyson Daniels will win an MIP, but I think they're going to give Cade All NBA.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
just there.
Yeah, but no, yeah, I think
So,
I think Nick 7, but bro, I think a lot of people might be underestimating this Pistons team, especially if they haven't been watching them. They're
yeah.
they're pretty good, bro. 6 for a
And
reason.
they have the other Thompson twin who's an athletic freak who's going to guard anybody and do any. Yeah, it's a mess. I pray for the Knicks. I think Jalen Duren's going to be a massive issue for them. I think
Isaiah
if Jalen
Stewart.
Duren was on the Knicks, bro, yeah, like I think they would be like, oh man, we're going to the finals because we got Cat and Jalen. Like, but
Yeah,
him with Cade, I think, is becoming a dangerous pairing. And then you add that in with Tobias and Tim Hardaway Jr. and, like you said, Malik Beasley,
bro. It's
second in the league in threes made. So clearly they got juice. Watch out. I would even, I'm sure Detroit has them winning, obviously, but I'm sure half the country would take the Pistons. I think I'm going with the Knicks in 7 as well, but these are two banger matchups that honestly take the cake in the first round.
yeah, great matchups, man. Cannot wait, bro. I swear,
Oh man, cannot wait.
can't wait to see Cade in the Garden going crazy.
Man, 100%. Literally, and with Mike Breen on the call. So, but moving into the 4-5 on the other side of the bracket in the Western Conference, we got coming in at the 4 seed out of a dumpster fire into thin air. Denver Nuggets, man. Clearly, they've been riding Jokic's hot hand all year. Since that next game where they had a little hiccup where he wasn't engaged or something and Murray called him out, he's been I just don't. I don't even remember that like first couple weeks of the season where he was like kind of slow.
Right.
I think from that, literally from that game on, I haven't seen him slow down. I've only seen him do more.
Hmm.
Um, so that's awesome to see. They've been able to ride that. Michael Malone being gone is a sad thing, but I've seen a lot of joy in that locker room. I think MPJ has been their X factor this season, staying healthy, but also giving them 18 points a game on that pretty strenuous contract, but that's no longer strenuous because he's playing into his value. Just a lot of stuff, man. Christian Braun, probably the X factor for the Nuggets. Just, I think he's the reason that Jokic has been able to do what he's been able to do this season. I think when Christian Braun and Russell Westbrook are added into the mix as decent scorers that are helping Jamal Murray and MPJ, I think it gives Jokic a ton of, a lot of options. And then when you got Aaron Gordon in the dunker spot, anything can happen. Aaron
Hmm.
Gordon had a few games where he also dropped damn near 40, I think, when Jokic was out. So this team has a lot of depth. Calvin Booth, who was the former GM, did a really good job of building this team, and obviously they're now mixing with interims. But we're gonna see, man. I wanted to see like how they react to this situation. It'll be interesting. Like they're coming off a pretty tough last week, but hopefully that doesn't impact their playoff morale too much. I'm excited to see what they can bring to the table, but they got a tough opponent for sure, and we'll be talking about them next. But what are your thoughts on the Nuggets season?
Yeah, bro. Like you said, just Jokic having probably one of the greatest offensive seasons I've ever seen, and what they've been having to deal with, the fact that they were able to, get that 4 seed just kind of shows just what they've been able to do all season. Like you said, MPJ has been great. Christian Brown has been great. They've been having these type of players stepping up, in the absence of, I know Aaron Gordon was injured. They lost KPJ. They lost a lot of pieces, and the fact that they were able to still win 50 games this season says a lot. So yeah, it's gonna be a great matchup, bro. Because like you're saying, kind of getting into the Clippers, bro. We talked about them earlier when
I
we
see.
watched them play. Kawhi, if he stays at this level and keeps this up, and Harden and Zubac, I don't know,
Too
man. I don't
much.
know.
Yeah,
It
that's a
might be a
lot,
little too
bro.
much for them, but yeah,
This
yeah,
one's going 6 or 7.
yeah. Same. I want to hear who you got in this series, bro.
I got Nuggets in 7 games.
Okay, I'm not mad at
What
it.
about you?
I'm not mad at it, bro. I think I was probably gonna go Nuggets to 7 as well.
7, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So you got two 7 game series according to me and CJ. Knicks Pistons and then Nuggets Clippers. So Clippers, like I said, 17-3 coming into the playoffs. Obviously one of the hotter teams in the NBA. I think Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs is just a different breed too. So we're gonna see what we get from him. Like CJ just alluded to though, if you do get 25 points out of James Harden on decent efficiency, you could win an NBA playoff series. You could go to the NBA Finals with the team that they have.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I think it all rests on James Harden's shoulders. To be
Yeah.
honest, I
Me
think we
too.
know what we're going to get from Leonard. I think Powell's going to show up. I think Zubac is going to show up.
Hmm.
Where is James Harden?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
I was gonna
see.
say the exact same thing, bro. I think if he just plays what to the level that we know he could play at, I feel like that's the thing with Harden. We always, kind of, you know, rag on him a little bit. It's like you
Yeah,
can never
yeah.
perform in the playoffs. So, but we'll
He's made
see,
the
bro.
playoffs every year.
Every year too. Yeah, it's not about him making it. It's about
Crazy.
how well he does in the playoffs. I feel like that's the thing.
100%. one Hundred
But if
percent.
if, if he is able to be the player that we know he can be, it's I like you said, they could definitely win this series, but we'll see. I also have the Nuggets in 7. I think it's gonna be a really good series. Like you said, Zubac is gonna be able to do his thing. Obviously he's not gonna be able to stop Jokic, but I feel like he'll probably be able to get as many boards as he
Battle.
has been all
Yeah,
season.
battle.
It might honestly, bro. It might put a lot of pressure on like
The Nuggets.
Jokic. You know what I mean? Like having to guard him and defend him, and obviously with Kawhi playing, it's tough, bro. They're pretty stacked lineup, but I think the Nuggets can do it. Nuggets in 7.
All right, Nuggets in 7. But obviously coming up next is that 3-6 matchup. My Lakers are the 3 seed. You guys know what I'm going Lakers in 5. You don't even need to hear it. You don't even need to hear it. You already know where it's coming from. Shannon Sharp, shout out to you, my boy. Uh, Lakers in 5. Don't matter the opponent. Lakers in 5. But seriously, 3 seed, hey, bro, like, what can you say? Here we are. Like, I think people were talking down on us a lot in the beginning of the year. Even I was a little bit skeptical of what we were going to, finish out on the season with, how our record was going to look, what type of players were going to be on the roster. Rob Pelinka answered those questions. JJ answered those questions. Luka Doncic has answered those questions. I got no doubts. I think we can make a finals run. I am confidently going into the playoffs right now as a Lakers fan. I feel extremely, extremely happy to be in the position that we're in. 3rd seed, I think 51 wins on the year. Clearly, it was a close and tightly contested race in the West, but we were able to battle it out in the Wild Wild West, and we're standing at the tippy top, so I have no problems. Also, our matchup, our opponent, weak. Not weak. I'm not weak. They're not weak. They're not weak, but they don't have the firepower that we got, and I think you
Yeah.
guys are gonna see that. So give me
Agree.
Lakers at 5.
I agree, bro. I won't say Lakers at 5. I say Lakers at 6. I think yeah. I think Ant alone can win you 2 games, but I think the thing that I'm worried about more so with the Timberwolves is what Julius Randle could be in the playoffs because he's also one of those
We're Gobert.
Right, exactly. But I think the start what Ant has proven to us alone. Obviously, y'all are gonna be keying in on him. Y'all could probably lock him up. But I think with DiVincenzo and like they, fucking Nikhil Alexander Walker has been performing really well this
It's gonna
season.
be
So
tough.
it's gonna be a good series. I think I still have y'all winning in 6, but I think it's really what Randall could be. I think if Randall can have an incredible series, then it might be a little more interesting because he is one of those players where we know what he can be in the regular season, but come playoff time, he kind of falls off a little bit, and he doesn't get he's not as efficient as he was during the season. So he's been playing great though, but I just need to see in the playoffs, and I think y'all just have too much firing power for them, bro. Luca,
Yeah,
LeBron, AR.
yeah.
I think that yeah, I think it's gonna be tough, but I think Ant's gonna have a great series. I mean, I think you said that as well. He's probably gonna, I
We
think
can't guard guards. Yeah,
can't guard guards exactly, and I think he's kind of proven to us this season. He could win you a couple games, but I still have y'all winning
yeah.
for sure.
We'll have some great playoff props too, because guys are playing 42, 44, 45 minutes every game,
Hmm.
which is how it should be. Especially if it's like a elimination game or anything like that. But yeah, those props are all still at pretty low,
Right.
27, 28. I think if you go out there, you play Ant 43 minutes for 3 or 4 games, he goes over that number a few
Right.
times. So
Right.
we'll be cooking up for sure with the bets as well. But we appreciate you guys, man. Like for covering the matchups with us. I think it's an interesting exercise. Clearly, for people who may not understand the NBA, yeah, the 1 and 2 seeds, we don't know who they play until
Right.
the plan is done. But we just went over the 3-6, obviously the 4-5 for both conferences. So, sir, would you like to finally go into our? I guess these guys are the league leaders, man. It's tough. Like I've been thinking about it for a long time. I'm like, man, bro, like I don't know. I hope one day LeBron. Did you see that stat that he didn't average 25, and like
Yes.
my goal for him is like he wins one more scoring title because I know he can. I know he can, and we'll talk about it in a second at the end who the leader is, obviously for people who don't know. But I did want to just throw that out there. It's sad to see not see any Lakers in here, but
Mm.
we'll get to that point. But
Yeah.
is there a category you would like to start with, sir? This is also per game basis, not
Right.
total.
Right. Let's start off with the blocks, bro.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, so blocks per game. Obviously, this goes to the player who averages the most blocks per game on the season. Um, Man, it's Victor Wembanyama. And what's crazy about that is I think he also leads the league in total blocks as well, still,
Yes.
after being out 3 months. And it just goes to show you the type of defender he's been all year. I think he makes as much impact on the defensive end as he does on the offensive end. And yeah, he has the chance to do the quintuple doubles and all these crazy things we've never seen before because he can do 10 blocks as well. And yeah, it's just, it adds to his unicorn factor. I'm not going to speak about it too much, but averaging, I think, what was it, 3.83 blocks a game? Just almost 4 blocks. I'm going to give it to him. Crazy. He puts his
Nuts.
hand up and he gets
It's
his
a
hand on
block.
the ball like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a block. So, oh, I like that. I didn't think you were gonna choose that one, but starting off in the blocks category, we got Wemby at 3.83, leading the league. Man, I think you want to announce the assist category.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, so
All right, let's do
we
an offensive one.
the 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 league lead oh my gosh, league
The league
leading
leader.
that's crazy. That's a mouthful. Pause. League leader in assists this year, Trae Young, man, 11.8 assists per game. I feel like it's been something we've been talking about him all season. He hasn't been, scoring the ball as efficiently as he has been in past seasons, but the way that he's been able to spread out the ball to his teammates and, Dyson Daniels helping him out, and obviously Jalen Johnson at the beginning of the season, Ricochet towards the later end of the season. He's just making everyone on that team
Oh
better.
man,
You know what I mean?
Ricochet's been awesome.
He's
Oh man, we haven't talked about him. I think you guys may have seen he had like a 38-point
38.
game against
Yeah,
the Nets. And he's making me feel good because we were talking highly about him, but
we were.
he's been hooping.
Yeah, bro, but it's been super impressive. I think this is the most assists since Stockton.
And Stockton, yep.
Yeah, so we haven't really seen anyone get this many assists, so I feel like it's something a lot of people probably aren't thinking of, but average 12 assists per game, damn near, and it's something with especially just the type of player that Trae Young is. He's a smaller guard. It's I feel like a lot of people don't appreciate his passing abilities and what he's able to do on the offensive side of the ball. It's just like I said, he's made everyone on his team better, so it's great being able to see him do this. And like I said, shout out to Ice Trade Gang, bro.
Bro, he almost had like 60 triple or double doubles on this season,
Yeah,
averaging 25 and 12. So shout out Trey Young, man. Super great year. And obviously the consistency, the field goal percentage is but he's also 6'1", so just his skill level at his size is just astronomical. But like to switch back over to the defense, man. Talk about
yeah.
another hot legend. Clearly it's Dyson Daniels coming in, averaging 3 steals a game, which is just hasn't been done before. It's been done a few times, obviously, but
It,
not
it doesn't happen a lot.
recently.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it doesn't happen a lot. Also the total steals leader as well. Man, what have you thought about his defense? I think he had his career high in steals this season, 8 steals. The Pelicans front office, man, what are you doing?
Punch in the air right now, bro. It's been great to see because I feel like he's one of those. Steals are a very misleading stat sometimes. Like you're in the passing lanes, but with him, he's actually getting on ball steals too, which I feel like is it's a very underrated thing from him because when you see someone leading league in steals, it's usually like I know Curry did it, I know AI did it, and they're not the greatest defenders, right? But his 3 steals a game is very impressive to me because he is actually like getting like on ball steals as well. It's not just in the passing lanes, and he's like kind of locking people up, bro. You know what I mean? I feel like it's something that I didn't really know was in his game like that, especially when he was in New Orleans. Maybe it was just him not getting as much run as he has been, in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
yeah.
But just the Great Barrier Thief, bro. It's been something like I said. We're witnessing history. We haven't really seen someone average 3 steals. To end the season in a very long time, and the fact that he was able to do that is just kind of it just has the league in a great place, bro. Because I feel like we fixate so much on the offense side of the ball, we tend to forget about the defenders and what he's been able to do. It's
First team all defense, bro.
it's
Hmm.
he's making playing defense cool. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he's doing that for especially this generation. I know a lot of younger kids are probably watching and be like, man, I want to be like him. You know what I mean? I want to average 3 steals a game. So it's dope being able to see that, especially with him. His first year being in Atlanta. I didn't expect that from him. So shout out to Dyson Daniels,
No,
bro.
yeah, no, for sure. And I think in my fantasy, I had him on my fantasy team. I think a steal is like 5 points, bro.
He's
So
probably
like that
winning you
game he had
games, huh?
8, like yeah, bro, he won me hella games for sure, hella games. So shout out Dyson Daniels for real. Um, Obviously though, I think I gotta show love to my Kings brother. This guy led the league in rebounding. It was Cat for a little second,
It
but
was.
Domantas Sabonis overtook him and finished out the season with 13.9 rebounds on the year, which is just bananas.
Nuts.
I think he or Jokic may have led the league in double doubles, but Sabonis was second for sure, if not first. Extremely consistent, continues to do it at a high level. There's really not much to say about him. I think he's one of these guys in the NBA who gets kind of overlooked for sure, but I think his value is definitely seen by other people. And if you watch the NBA, you know Domantas Sabonis is a monster, especially on the glass. And I think his offensive game, it's crazy. He used to play on the Thunder too, but imagine Demon on the Thunder. But it's crazy just seeing his offensive game mesh into what it's become. And he's basically a mini Jokic out there, one of the best passers we have in this league. Not just a center passer.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Jokic is a better passer than some guards. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely Sabonis is up there and can do similar things with the ball, and it's really special to see. He's one of my favorite players to watch. So shout out to Montes Sabonis, man, averaging 14 rebounds on the year. You got anything else you want to add to that?
Nah, bro. I just, I wanted to shout out to him because I feel like, he is definitely one of the most underappreciated players that we have in this league, bro. Because he's been up there. He's been like really maybe 1 through 3 for rebounding leaders for the whole season. So it's something that part
Oh
of
yeah,
his game that like, it just goes unappreciated. I feel like a lot of people don't, those boards really matter, especially in close games. And, he's able to get the offensive boards as well. And, he's not the tallest guy. It's not like he's Wemby's height. He's like 6'10", 6'11", so it's really just his positioning, which like is a like very underappreciated thing just in general. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like you
I
don't
love
a
that
lot
you
of people don't
explained
think
that.
about
Yeah,
that, but yeah.
yeah. I love that.
Last but certainly not least,
Definitely not.
scoring champion, MVP of the league, 68 wins this season. Yours truly, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, averaged 32.7 points per game this season. Man, what more?
33.
What more can I say, bro? 33 points. I think this is the. I saw a stat. I think OKC has had the league, like the scoring champions from the past 16 years. I think 7 times, which is a record. Because KD, I think he had it three
Yeah, he had it like
times.
twice or three
Three.
times.
I know
Yeah,
Russ had it
Russ did it
twice,
too.
and I think
Yeah,
Shea obviously. So
hey, twice
what
or three
what
times.
what more can I say, bro? It's just what we've been seeing all season. He's kind of bringing back mid ranges. I feel like the league has been very 3-point centric for the last damn near decade, but I feel like he's kind of bringing back that mid range assassin, and he's able to
I
hit
just want
those.
to say, like, all these guys too. I think they also led the league in total. So he led the league in
Right.
total points.
Total points, yeah. And mind you,
Sabonis led the
everybody,
league in total rebounds.
my
Daniels in total steals.
mind y'all, everyone, Shea was sitting out a lot for the fourth quarter because we were blowing
Oh,
teams
bro,
out. So he was getting 33 and 3 quarters damn near. So
for
11 points
sure.
for a quarter. I
Three
feel
and a
like
half, I would say. If you want to be like 3.5,
three and a
like
half.
not,
Yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
4 quarters,
Yeah, definitely
not
not
full
four
quarters.
quarters. But yeah, no, man, it's just been great. He feel like a lot of people were kind of saying, oh, he only averages or he only gets 30, 31 a game. He's not going to be able to score a whole bunch of points, and then he shut them up. He scored 50, I think, like in three times in like 7 days or some shit like that. Like it's been great, bro. Like I said, it's been incredible to see, especially of course he's on my team, but even if he wasn't, I would just appreciate the way he plays because he just makes it look so easy. He gets to his spots, he's able to knock down his threes now. I feel like that's something in his game that obviously he improved in. And yeah, he gets free throws, but I feel like that's something a lot of people don't really understand. If you're one of the greatest scorers, you're gonna get to the free throw line. I
Get
mean,
more,
yeah,
yeah,
you're
more
gonna
free throws.
look at Kobe, look at
That correlates, yeah.
yeah, Harden,
Nah,
all
man.
these great players, and I don't know, bro. It's just and the way he's able to finish at the rim. It's ridiculous, Obviously, I said he's MVP. I think you said it as well, and I think he's gonna be the MVP. So it's great being able to see that. Yeah, man, I have nothing else to say, bro. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts
that's a
on it?
perfect way to. Yeah, I think that's a perfect way to sum it up, bro. And I think Shea has been. I think he leads the league in isolation scoring. I think also led the league in the mid range. Just a lot of stuff. Just a three-level scorer. I think you've been extremely happy with him. It's just his three-point shot. I don't think he spoke about that, but just I would just say that I think it's been cool to see him be able to dribble in and do pull-up threes now, and he just continues to grow his game, man. Like Shea is one of those players who continues to add something new every year. It seems like that's why he's able to keep doing this. And yeah, I think you make a good point with the fouls. That's just going to happen as a byproduct of being great. I think he's really studied people like Kobe and people he's looked up to in terms of the footwork and, Kyrie and how to get to your spots and even probably Durant and stuff, just picking spots and learning like where I want to go, where the defender wants me to go, and how I can get to where Shea feels the most comfortable. And then the other part of his game is really that doesn't get talked about. And I know the way that I'll tie it into the scoring makes sense is like I think his facilitating gets a lot better whenever he's putting up 30, 33 because the defense just be drawn to him, bro. I haven't seen defenders really, I guess, crash on Shea until this year. Like now he gets doubled and sometimes he'll even get tripled and stuff. But I think that just opens up other people in the offense. And if you were to ask him, I don't think he even would care if he didn't score 30 every game. I think he would be fine scoring 15 or 20 points and getting 12 assists. Like to Shea, that's probably what he wants to do. So, yeah, just another scoring title. I'm sure he'll lead the league next year, and he continues to do it at a consistent level. And yeah, he's just not hurt. Continues to keep his body, and that's really just his longevity, his durability is just I think what's allowed him to be able to do this. And yeah, he's our 2024-2025 NBA scoring champion.
Yes, sir. Almost on 40, 50, 90 efficiency as well. Missed it barely.
By the
Barely.
three, right?
Yeah. Three was 37
Yeah.
and a half. Free throws were damn 89.8. I round that up.
Okay, yeah,
But
like 90, yeah.
yeah, I round that up. But
Okay.
yeah, damn near, bro. But yeah, bro.
Man, that's a perfect way to wrap this one up, my man. You have anything else you want to add for the audience?
Watch these games, man. It's gonna be exciting. I feel like we've been preaching it all for these past couple weeks. Just this is the best time of year to be watching the NBA, bro. I know a lot
Yeah,
of people are
tap
probably gonna
in,
be
bro.
locked in. But no, man. Besides that, no. Do
Tap
you have
in.
anything?
No, man, Lakers at 5. Come on. Yes, sir. That's it, man. That's it. Just signing out. We appreciate you guys for rocking with us, man. Obviously, like I mentioned earlier, when we first got going, just this season, it's been a long one, but it's been a fun journey. I appreciate you doing this so can't do this without you. Can't do this without the community. We appreciate it, man. It's been a blast. But I'm ready to see this playoffs, man. Get into the play-in and just bet too. I'm excited to get some of these props going.
Get some money, man. But yeah, man. If y'all liked and enjoyed this episode of Three Man Weave, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time, man. Peace. Three man, three
Peace.
man, three man.
Bow.
Yeah.